So metrics at the end of the day, this is a sore spot for me because it's arguably the most annoying issue that has popped up across various points in my career. It's this obsession with metrics. And I know that's complete blasphemy in our world, but hear me out for a second. I'm by no means saying metrics are not important, but they have to mean something at the end of the day. And that's true of both the metrics that a PMO is looking at, as well as the metrics that are assigned to project benefits. So the metrics need to move the needle that's guided by that higher level strategy that I was talking about. You know, in my mind, one cannot live without the other. So as an example, if your project deliverable is to increase widget production by 5%, but your business strategy makes absolutely no mention, indirectly or directly, of widget production, your metric doesn't really mean much at the end of the day. So as far as solving for this, I'd say it's a little bit more of a cultural issue than anything else. And it sort of involves a few different building blocks. And we can talk about that in a little bit, but sort of getting back to the meat of your question in terms of what's important, you know, if you have the upfront, if your benefits are well defined in terms of what this deliverable is supposed to meet at the end of said project, then across the way, all you're really looking at any point is an ROI of some sort. Is the effort a little too much? You know, is the juice going to be worth the squeeze if, for instance, we've got project managers on the bench because said widget is waiting at a dock because of a supply chain issue during the pandemic for 3 months? Is it worth it to continue the project? So some project managers might say, well, yeah, Jay, that's critical path. All right. How many people at a said business know what the heck critical path is and how to calculate it? I venture to say that number is extremely small. So while critical path is important, I'm not saying that it's not. Most people that wear this project manager hat have no idea how to calculate it. So if a tool can do that, you know, if you have milestones and different tasks that are built into a work plan, you have something that can help calculate it along the way, I'd say that would certainly go towards a project health score. Number of risks. And when we say risks, there are a few bits and pieces that go into that, right? What's the impact of said risk? What's the assumed or estimated probability of said risk? So I'd say risk is something that is frequently overlooked. That should also go into this project health score. I know Moovila approaches it from a project confidence score, which I think is a fantastic way of looking at it, because that's ultimately what leaders are looking for. So in my mind, those would be some of the items. And I don't know if Ben wants to add to it.
Well, the only thing I would add is that there's also, the longer a PM works in their field, they get a gut feeling about how things are going. And I think that KPI, I don't know if it's always easily quantifiable, but to give it a weight of some amount when you're looking at that health score. I as a PM, even though let's say everyone's on task, everything on paper is moving along the way that we planned it, but I'm seeing things go wrong, like down the road. They're risks, they haven't become issues yet, but I can see that this is trending that way. Even if I'm putting everything in the tool and updating everything's going to look great on paper, but I'm still not feeling good about this as I look down the road. And I think that that strange metric that, well, I don't know what you want to call it, but that gut feeling, I need to be able to add to that project health score or detract from that project health score if I see something that doesn't look good or looks even better than I could have ever imagined. I want to be able to add or subtract to that score.